it's Jason from Pro Guitar Studio. Today we're going to take a look at an interesting way to think about the minor pentatonic scale. Now, if you've gone through and learned your pentatonic shapes before, that's cool. This lesson can sort of help you tie it all together. If you've never looked at the minor pentatonic before or the major pentatonic, this can be a fun lesson just to get into it. And if you want to try to make up your own phrases or riffs, this is the perfect place to start, okay? So instead of thinking of big, 6-string scale shapes, we're going to look at just 3 strings. And I'm referring to this as the minor pentatonic mini box. And we can also, another name that I made up for this was the Riff launcher, because it's a really good spot to start. You don't want to stick only here though, like forever. So you want to be able to start with this and come up with some ideas that sort of break out of that little pattern that I'm going to show you, or break out of this little pattern. But the really cool thing here is that we basically only need 2 fingers. And so if we're going through, let's say the key of E minor, for example, I'm going to play 5-7 on the low E string, 5-7 on the A string, and 5-7 on the D string. So 5-7, 5-7, 5-7. So I'm referring to that as the mini box, right? Now, the reason, like I said, why I want to call it the Riff launcher is because if we only play within that kind of shape, we miss out on some fun notes that can be had, and I'll sort of get into that today too. But to start off here with the E minor, we want to look at where our root note is, okay? So we're thinking of this as E minor pentatonic, and I'll just focus on this as a minor pentatonic today. But our starting point is fret number 7 on the A string, okay? So that's our E note. So essentially we have 3 strings, and the middle string is going to be our root note with our ring finger. So in this case here, the 7th fret on the A string. We can also access the 5th fret though on that same string. And I'm using my first finger for that, right? So root note here, 7th fret, but we can go back to the 5th fret. Now on the string above it, we can also do 7-5 as well. And the string down towards the floor, 7-5, same frets, just different strings, right? So we have 3 strings. The middle string is our root note with our ring finger. So no matter what key you're in, the ring finger is going to be your root note for this particular shape, right? So we're always sort of resolving to that note for our sake here. Now, when we're making pentatonic phrases, it doesn't mean we always resolve to the root note, but for today, if you're getting used to this, just try to resolve to that just to get the feel of it. The phrases I did at the beginning, most of those resolve to the E note, just to make it simple and clear. And I tried to avoid jumping outside of it, but when I use this, I don't just start there. So there's plenty of really great phrases that start with this, or really great riffs that start with this shape, that are also within that shape, blues phrases, rock phrases, but once you get comfortable, you want to sort of move around a bit, right? So if you're looking at this as a starting point, like I said, that's our root note, 5-7, 5-7, 5-7. You can put on a track in the key of E minor. I'll include the one I had at the beginning here today without the soloing. If you look in the YouTube description, you'll be able to download that for free. All right, so that's our starting point, 7th fret on the A string. Now within this shape, if you want to jump outside, from fret number 7 on string number 4, we can slide to fret number 9. And that gets us outside of the box. Now on the lower end of things, we can go down to the 3rd fret on the low E string, okay? So essentially we can go 2 frets higher on, we'll say, the highest sounding string we're playing. Or we can go 2 frets lower on the lowest string we're playing. So a really nice center point to start, and we also have access to 2 frets above and 2 frets below, right? So essentially here we got from fret number 3 to fret number 9. And it can also function as a G major here if we use that as our root note. But like I said, today we're talking about this as E minor. Okay, so we have those 3 strings right in a row and this little shape, a little box shape. We can also move it down to the 12th fret on string number 5. Our root note's going to be 14 on string number 4. That's our E note there, okay? So we have 12, 14, 12, 14, 12, 14 from the A string to the G string. Again, we can jump out 2 frets higher and go 2 frets lower. A lot of fun to be had there. Right now, same thing can be done in the open position. The only thing is we can't get the lower note. So our root note is the 2nd fret, string number 4. So on string 5, we can do 0, 2. string number 4, 0, 2, and string number 3, 0, 2. We can jump out 2 frets on the high end. All right. Now, on the thickest 3 strings, it works really nicely. On the next set of 3 strings, it works great too. If we go to string number 4 as our starting point, or we'll say we put our root note on string number 3. So let's say we do the E note, fret number 9 on the 3rd string. Because of the 2nd string tuning, we have to add 1 fret to the 2nd string. So if I'm doing 7, 9 on the 4th string, 7, 9 on the 3rd string, because the B string is tuned differently, we have to jump up to 8, 10 on the 2nd string. So just keep that in mind. It's a nice little rule to add in there. And again, we can jump out 2 frets higher, so 8, 10, 12. Or on the bottom end, the D string, we can go down to number 5. And already you can sort of access this, big portion of the fretboard, and you look at how these sort of connect. We have this, and then we have this. Right? So those 2 parts connect already anyways, and we already understand the rule about jumping 2 frets higher on the high end and the low end, right? So there's really a lot of things we can do within that. And then connecting this spot here with this, that gives us more notes to access, right? Even though the sound is the same. But if we go even to the 2nd string root note, 5th fret, string number 2. We can play the same thing there. So like basically 3, 5. On the 1st string, it's the same idea here because the tuning between string 2 and string 1 are the same. It is the same. But string number 3, we have to subtract a fret. So we have to go 4 to 2. So in this case here, our root note's on the 2nd string, 5th fret. So that string is 3, 5. String number 1 is 3, 5. But string number 3 is 2 and 4. And again, that can connect to right down the bottom end of that scale, right? So the same shape we did the second one I showed you. And if we go to fret number 17 on string number 2, we have the same shape as we did down here. So we have 14, 16 on the 3rd, 15, 17 on the 2nd, 15, 17 on the 1st. So just some nice things to think about. Not as simple as just like a 2-string shaped box or even the L box that you hear about sometimes. But I think this gives you more access to more notes that sound really good. And a lot of the classic blues and rock phrases that I do know, or rock riffs that I do know, come within that sort of box, right? So even though it's a pentatonic scale, 5-note scale, we can access 6 notes there, and those connect all over the place. So definitely a lot of fun to be had here. If you have questions about how this is laid out, please let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Like I said, I'll include the backing track for E minor that we did at the beginning, so you can jam with this, play around with it. But yeah, enjoy this. If you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe for more videos like this each week, and I'll see you soon.